Andrew Anderson, spitting truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast, like a punch right to your face. College sports villain, taking it over the place. I'll bring the facts whether you like it or not. Dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain. Well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide. I'm rocking my veins, rebellious to the core. I won't back down, won't take it anymore. The bad guy of the podcast world, that's me. Unleashing the truth, setting it all free. Unleashing the truth. I'm a bad guy, the one you love to hate. Andrew.
Welcome to College Sports Villains. We've got a great show today. We're going to talk a little March Madness. But basically tonight, like last week, we did the Star Wars show. This week we're doing movies, and we got top 5 categories. We'll go through all that later. But without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce our 2 co-hosts that are already here right now. Chris, what's up?
I had to time my head bob perfectly so I didn't get caught on the camera.
Oh man, we should have caught you. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. It's gonna be a fun show, man. So villains, we still do sports, but we're a college football show. That's what we are. That's where we put most of our primary care and love. So now this is the off season, we'll talk a little March Madness and college baseball once basketball's over. But we're gonna be doing gimmick shows like this a lot.
So I'm glad you said we're a college football show, because you know what? When I joined Villains, Vanderbilt had a good football season, so I owed all the villains that Vanderbilt has a good football team now.
That's right. Yes,
Because of villains.
Hey, man. Yeah. So we're getting that from you. Hold on one second. All right, it's gone. Okay, it just comes and goes. Like I said, it's not much. All right, let's introduce our next co-host. Don't change anything. It's just here and there.
Terminate the fate, keep you safe in the arms of the snow. Your shivering skies, the smiling waters are free. To the memories you're not seen. The darkness of your soul.
We have to update that picture with the feather on there now. It just doesn't look right to me without the feather. How are we doing, Emily?
Already getting tortured by the boys. So great.
I see that. Well, while we're doing that, let's introduce our last co-host of the night. Where's his video? He must have deleted his own video this time, since I accused him of 20 times of taking out Mac and then found it sitting right there. It's time for our last co-host. James, your long intro just don't slap without that rock music there. But hey,
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. You got to stop accusing me the same way that your son accused you of the whole chicken nuggets.
I did, man, for like a month and a half. I'm like, sorry, Mac, I don't have your intro. James deleted it. Then one day I'm looking and I'm like, what is that video? So I played it to see what it was. I'm like, oh shit, that's Mac's intro. Oh, that's great. So let's get into the show. I want to start with the hold on. I'm gonna start. Hold on. Yeah. We go put him in the bed, give him his phone or something. I don't know, try something. But we're gonna start by addressing the elephant in the room. Yes, I did get a Hugacious neck tattoo. Just so y'all know, it says Matthew 24:13. I don't even want to read it out here. I want you to go read it yourself if you're watching. That's one of the main reasons why I really like it, because people are going to be asking, hey, what's that? Pull out your phone. You know what I mean? Or it's the opportunity to witness at that point. You know what I mean? So either way, I want to start our show by showing y'all exactly why LeBron will never be on MJ's level.
We talked about leading defense with your face.
The right elbow, yeah.
That's why LeBron will never be MJ.
Nope.
Like, what was that?
That was a clown show. And even the announcers were part of the clown show.
Look at Jay.
Even they sold that he got hit in the face. And he didn't. Sorry.
Nah, I mean, you absolutely right. It was a clown show, but it makes sense since he's on the LA Lakers. All they do is love the show.
Well, yeah, that dude will never be MJ mainly because of shit like that right there. But let's we're gonna do a little FAFO before we get into the first subject. I loved it so much last week. I love it.
Ay vey. Some people just got to learn the hard way.
That man said my whole head is in his mouth. What the hell do I do?
Chris got a new toy. All right, so let's play this week's FAFO. It's not really one of my classic ones, but I just love it. The batter's like, he run. He hit a home run, and he's just standing there in the infield like this.
I swear to God, every time I see that clip, I think of Happy Gilmore. You hit that guy. He shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah. I love that clip. I think we played it on the show before. I don't care. It was funny.
Oh, my God. It's never going to be not funny.
No, dude, the umpire hammed it up, too.
So does that cross the line as far as bat flips go?
So, yes, you cannot fling the bat toward anyone. I think that crosses the line when you throw it like at the direction of somebody. It wasn't intentional, I get it. But if you were tossing it in the direction somebody's at, that crosses the line every time to me.
Fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
Fair. I don't mind a bat flip every now and then, but don't try and show up the other team when you're doing it. I mean, don't carry your bat halfway down first baseline and then flip it. I mean, there's a fine line there.
I don't think he was trying to. It didn't look like he was trying to be cocky. It looked like he was trying to throw it to his bat boy because it wasn't like over the top animated. He just kind of tossed it, but like he wasn't paying attention at all. He saw it too.
I was going to say that, or he was trying to do his best Jose Bautista bat flip impression.
He didn't throw it that hard, bro. Watch. kind of underhanded flipped it toward the dugout. There was no malicious intent of anything there.
No.
He just fucked up, threw it at the wrong time.
Plus, I'm sure he went over to say, like, hey, man, my bad. That was completely unintentional.
Oh, yeah. The ref wasn't, the umpire wasn't even looking. He was just walking. Like,
Mhm.
He sold it, though.
Oh, yeah.
He sold it.
He hammed it up 100%. He should be in the WWE taking chops from Ric Flair. Alrighty. So without let's go ahead and get into our first one. Which one should we do first? Let's do rom-coms. We're doing our top 5 favorite romantic comedies. I cannot wait to hear what Chris and James come up for their romantic comedies. I could probably put my wife's in there, most of them in there. But let's start number 5, Chris.
I'm going to say The Wedding Singer.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it was funny. I'll take that. Emily, number 5. Hold on, you're on mute. I'll unmute you. Number 5. Hold on, you have to unmute you. I can't unmute you. It says you muted yourself.
Number 5, I have The Princess Bride. Stop it. Yes.
All right, so she's got The Princess Bride at number 5. Good movie. James, number 5.
I'll say this. Rom-com really isn't a cup of tea, but there have been some really good ones. But number 5, I'm going to have to go with The Proposal.
I haven't seen that either.
It's got Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, and it definitely shows us a side of Sandra Bullock that we've never seen before because she dropped it low with the GOAT Betty White.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Watch it. You will not be disappointed.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Thank you, AC.
All right, so number 5 for me is the image on the screen. She's All That. That was a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, like I would suggest you watch it. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it, especially when she came down the stairs and Freddie Prinze Jr.'s like, the fuck? If you haven't seen it, like I would suggest it. It's worth a watch. Number 4, Chris.
Number 4, I'm going to go with My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I have seen that one. That was a good one. Yes. I've seen it a few times.
Fine.
What's that?
So Cameron Diaz is fine.
Oh, number 4, Emily.
So I've got You've Got Mail.
Oh, that was a good one. I doubt James has ever even heard of it, but that had Tom Hanks and
Only thing I think of when I hear You've Got Mail is You've Got Mail.
Exactly.
they that's when email first came out, and they started a relationship over it. Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and fantastic movie actually, James. I would suggest that one as well.
Okay,
good. Number 4 for you.
Well, speaking of Cameron Diaz, I'm going to have to go with a real classic here and go with There's Something About Mary.
Yep, that was a romantic comedy. Yep.
Real good one. I mean, you got a bunch of guys fighting over her because, hey, there's something about her, and damn, was Cameron Diaz fine in that movie.
I was not as high on that movie as everybody else. It was, with the sperm and like all that. Just not my kind of movie. Number 4, what's that? Oh, it's number 4 for me was Practical Magic. This was a fantastic movie if you've never seen it. It was Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. No, she wasn't in it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. Man, that shit was good. Practical Magic was a fantastic movie.
Was that a comedy?
No. I mean, it was a romantic comedy. Yeah, remember she was in love with that dude, and her sister didn't like it and cursed it. Do you remember the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy.
Okay.
I mean, it got serious in parts of it, but it was a romantic comedy. Like, it got dark for a minute in that movie.
Damn.
Number 3, Chris.
So number 3 for me, I'm going to go with shouting, "Fuck, fuck, fuck," as I'm trying to make it to a friend's wedding, and call 4 Weddings and a Funeral at number 3 for me. And don't forget, this was the movie that launched the career of Hugh Grant.
So, James, I doubt you've heard of 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Have you seen it, Emily?
I don't know.
It's you would know it. Fantastic fucking movie. And you would know that it has Hugh Grant in it. So yeah, great movie. Number 3, Emily.
All right, so my number 3 is The Wedding Singer.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it, so
I'll watch it with you.
And I'll watch it with you. Yeah.
Hell, watch it tonight.
Now we got a pack. We're going on vacation tomorrow. Yeah. So, number 3, James.
So number 3, this is ironic coming from me, being that I'm a Giants fan, but I'm going with the Silver Lining Playbook. Granted, it starts off a bit rocky, but once like things start falling into motion between Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, like it was just like, oh wow, this is actually a good movie.
I've never even heard of that one.
It's a good one. I recommend it.
What was it?
Silver Lining Playbook.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it either.
It's good. I definitely recommend it.
I mean, we'll check it out. I plan on getting me a few movies from y'all because we go on vacation next week, and I'll be playing Shadows, and I want something to watch something while I do it. Number 3 for me, Chris, you should appreciate this. Moonstruck. Yo, that movie right there was one of the best movies I've ever seen in a romantic comedy or not. Fantastic movie.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I don't disagree. It was on my short list to be on the top 5.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. Number 2, Chris.
Number 2, I'm picking a movie a lot of people don't realize that it's a rom-com. But how about Groundhog Day?
So you could. Groundhog Day is a romantic comedy because Andy McDowell and Bill Murray do. They fall in love. That's the point of him going groundhog. So I would agree with that. Not in my thought process, but it is 100% meets every parameter for romantic comedy. Correct.
Yep.
Groundhog Day is like one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
Cool.
Good movie. Good movie. All right, number 2, Emily.
So my number 2 and number 1 were really, really close. But my number 2 is Simply Irresistible.
Simply Irresistible. Okay, I've never seen it, although I have heard of it.
You've probably seen me play it like 6,000 times in here.
Oh, is it that one?
Yeah.
Oh, with the crab?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that movie a bunch. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's not in my top 5, buddy. Number 2, James.
So number 2, obviously this has found its way into the top 5 for a reason, but I got it at number 2 just because I grew up watching this dude, The Wedding Singer.
Damn. Like,
hey, Adam Sandler was an icon in the 90s.
It's on all your lists and I've never even seen it. That is crazy. So number 2 for me has Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone in it. So, I mean, number 2 for me is Romancing the Stone. Fantastic fucking movie, yo. One of the best movies you'll ever watch in your entire life. I was like 8 years old watching this shit. And Chris, you've seen Romancing the Stone, right? All right, imagine watching Romancing the Stone at 8, 9 years old, bro. That was crazy. Oh, Chris is probably the only one that saw that besides me. What's number one for you, Chris?
So number one for me, I'm going to preface this with, waiter, there's too much pepper on my pepper cash. When Harry Met Sally from 1989.
Yeah, When Harry Met Sally was really good too. That was also Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They did both of those were good. All right, so hey, be quiet, AC. What's number one for you, Emily?
So number one for me is Notting Hill.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was going to be her number one. Either that or the Crab movie. So I guess you're 1 and 2 pretty close. That Crab movie, man, it plays on repeat. If you know, you know, with the magic crab. Anyway, number one, James.
Number one, I'm gonna have to go with 50 First Dates.
So that was good.
Good movie.
Real good movie. I mean, short-term memory loss. She can only remember like what happened during the accident. So he's got to come up with new and creative ways of like, hey, I'm the guy you met the day before. But I mean, in the end, it ends up working out, and just all-time classic for Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, so I love that movie. It didn't make it in my top 5, obviously. I'm very disappointed in Chris and James for this one not being in their top 5. However, it was in Emily's top 5. The greatest romantic comedy of all time, according to me, is The Princess Bride. Bro, that movie is so fucking fantastic, man. Like it borderlines my most favorite movie of all time. I mean, it is such a close second. The Princess Bride, watching that as a kid, oh man, definitely 100% The Princess Bride. As You Wish. Love that movie.
Reasonable.
Love that movie. All right, before we go on to the next one, I just want to do a quick reminder for everybody. Like, bro. All right. So before we go to the next movie set, I got one for you. You have to pick one in each row. Like, I saw this and I'm like, this would be a fun segment to do. Chris.
So on top row, I'm going to take Double Dragon because I played it more than I played any of the others.
Hey, Double Dragon was fun as hell. I won't.
That was a TV show.
Karate Kid and Mountain Dew.
Nice. Now, I mean, like you could interchange any of these, and I would be okay. Just so y'all know. So there's nothing y'all can say. I'm going to be like crazy talk on this one. Emily, what are your 3?
Mine would be Mario, Back to the Future, and Cherry Coke.
Nice, respectable. I could do that. I could play Mario while drinking Cherry Coke, watching Back to the Future. I could stomach that.
Why does it feel like Back to the Future and Cherry Coke automatically have to go together?
Like it does. It really does.
It just feels right, you know? Just like Goonies and Pepsi feels right together.
At Moon Pie RC. Chris ain't that country. He's from Iowa.
Trust me. I've done some moon pies and RC Cola.
Oh, okay. So you do know.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I got to tell you, RC is a badass cola.
I love me.
Yeah, people sleep on it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like it. What about you, James? What's your 3?
I'm going to have to go with Double Dragon, Back to the Future, and Mountain Dew.
Oh, wow. Almost identical to Chris there. 2 people picked Back to the Future. I mean, I liked the movie. I did not love the movie. But for me, I'm playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Ooh.
I'm watching The Goonies, which is a fantastic movie. You seen The Goonies, James?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic movie. And I'm going with Cherry Coke because Cherry Coke in that can was the greatest soda that ever evolved. I don't know why, but Cherry Coke back then was so freaking good, bro. It ain't the same no more, but it was so good. I like cherry sodas. Like I like Mr. Pibb. I like Dr. Pepper. I like Cheerwine. Like I like those better than any other.
Cheerwine is vastly underrated.
I agree. I love it. All right, let's run one quick commercial. We're not going to be going long at all, y'all. We're just going to run a quick commercial, and we will see you back in just a minute. Watching College Sports Villains only on the Villain Media Network.
The one you love to hate. Andrew Anderson spitting truth that just can't wait. Got a podcast like a punch right to your face. College sports villain, taking it over the place. I'll bring the facts whether you like it or not. Dropping truth bombs, giving it all I got. They call me a villain. Well, I wear that badge with pride. Nothing but secrets they try to hide. I'm rocking my veins, rebellious to the core. I won't back down, won't take it anymore. The bad guy of the podcast world, that's me. Unleashing the truth, setting it all free. Unleashing the truth.
Welcome back to College Sports Villains only on the Villain Media Network. It's time to go to the second of our movies. By the way, fantastic work for all of you. I didn't even get to do a crazy talk at all during that segment, and I was waiting for it with Chris and James because I just didn't know how they were going to go with romantic. But I didn't get one. Good job. Let's do action movies. So for Emily, James, if you don't know this movie right here, this is called American Ninja. God, they were fucking great, man. Great. Look, James, for real. If you like action movies, go back. There's like 5 or 6 of these motherfuckers, by the way. And they're all really good. All right. So, number 5 action, Chris.
I'm going to go with number 5. I'm going to put The Fugitive at number 5.
You can put what? The Fugitive? Good movie.
Yep.
So, it wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Right.
Hey,
That's where Jim Carrey got that line from The Mask.
yes.
Okay, I'm like, I thought that was just like an unscripted line that he came up with.
No.
Oh, damn! Wow.
Man, Harrison Ford, man, fantastic, man. The Fugitive was a great movie. I did not think about it. I don't know if it would have made my top 5 anyway, but I do like that movie a lot, Chris. Good call on that. Y'all not giving me much crazy talk here. Emily, number 5.
I've got Crow, City of Angels.
The Crow. Oh yeah, City of Angels. Yeah, that was a good movie. I mean, I liked the Crow movies for what it was worth. It wouldn't break my top 5, but I didn't hate it. There's still no crazy talk, Chris.
I mean, I have a history that you vastly underestimate. Let's put it that way.
I agree. Chris. James, number 5.
So number 5, I got 2007's Transformers. When it comes to Michael Bay, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I won't go crazy talk on that. Movie's okay. Growing up with the cartoon, I guess it just kind of felt different for me. It wasn't. It was more realistic, and I get it. It should be. Number 5 for me was American Ninja. Up here on the graphic right now. Those movies were fantastic, but the first one was really good. Michael Dudikoff. He played in some other stuff. He actually. Have you seen the Jerry Springer movie?
I hadn't seen the Jerry Springer movie, but I watched the Jerry Springer show on television.
Yeah, you were at home sick.
He did a Jerry Springer the movie, and Michael Dudikoff was in it. That's about the only 2 things I knew he was in. When Chris comes back, we'll get number 4 from him. There he is. Number 4, Chris.
Number 4. A lot of people, this wasn't a very popular film, but number 4 for me, Action Jackson. There was so much explosion and violence in that movie. Yeah, that got my blood pumping.
Well, like I said, this is everybody's top 5 favorite list. So you really have to go wild for crazy talk. But Action Jackson wasn't a terrible movie. Not terrible at all.
Yeah. I mean, the opening scene where they're blowing up the hotel room with a helicopter, that got me started and hooked right away.
Oh yeah, definitely. I will tell you, I had a rough time with mine, and I'll tell you why here. I don't want to spoil anything yet. Number 4, Emily.
Okay, it's action-ish, kind of ish. So I got Pan's Labyrinth.
Is that the one with David Bowie or?
No, that's the.
That's that Muppet movie I'm thinking about.
You're thinking about The Labyrinth.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's not. I mean, like it's almost crazy talk, but not quite. Number 4, James.
Number 4, I could have gone with a different movie this dude was in, but man, when I saw this for the first time, I thought it was just going to be like, very sad type of movie. But man, the turnaround is just insane. But number 4 with John Wick.
I've seen one of them. I think I don't consider that crazy talk. Wildly popular movie.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a certain scene in that movie. If you've seen it, you know, and it was just like, oh no. Last thing you want to do is piss off Keanu Reeves.
Yes. Very popular movie. Number 4 for me was Bloodsport. I love Claude Van Damme back in the day, and Bloodsport was the one, man. He paralyzed his buddy that went over there with him, and then he threw the shit in his eyes and made him blind. And the whole lead up to it, where they were over there and just fantastic fucking action movie, bro. Fantastic.
My wife and I actually just started that last night. We got to finish it though.
Oh, it's so good, man. Bloodsport's fantastic, y'all. We got 70 people watching, bro. Appreciate that. No comments yet, but hey, we'll take it. Number 3, Chris.
Number 3 for me, again, this wasn't a very popular movie, but as a sports fan, seeing that Brian Bosworth was doing an action movie, it got me interested.
Crazy.
And then the opening scene where he's feeding this freaking, I think it's an emu or some kind of wild animal, chameleon, something. I mean, and this thing's the size of a freaking bed. I was hooked. And then with all the biker scenes and the club scenes, cutting dudes' nuts off. This movie was full of action from start to finish. They even had a dude on a motorcycle and burned him on his motorcycle. Oh, okay. I'm here for that. So, yeah, Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth comes in at number 3 for me.
So I have seen this movie, but I'm getting a lot of feedback. All right, there we go. But I got to tell you something that cracked me the fuck up. He said he's got like an emu or a chameleon or something. Like those two things.
Whatever you got calling in.
I'm so proud of you, baby. You knew the difference.
I don't know what it was. I just know it was big, and he was iguana. That's what it was.
So I will tell you my honorable mention. God, I can't remember the name of it. I meant to Google it earlier, and I didn't put it in my top 5. I don't think it would have made it anyway, but it would have been number 6. It was a Charlie Sheen movie, and I can't remember the name. It was driving me fucking crazy. Fucking fantastic movie where he's in a motorcycle game, but he's really an FBI agent, and he infiltrates it, and he befriends all the high leaders in there, and God,
concept, yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what that one is, but it's the same concept as Stone Cold was. Where you go in, you infiltrate the biker gang and all that. And yeah, it's a good concept to follow. You can get a lot of action from biker gang.
Y'all have to watch this movie. Hold on. Beyond the Law. Watch that movie. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, so Emily, number.
I've got Dracula Untold.
So is that the new one?
It's from 2014.
Yes. So that was a really fucking good movie. And what pisses me off, have you seen it, James?
No, I was gonna say I could have swore there was another Dracula Untold movie in like the mid 2000s or early 2000s or something like that.
No, this one was new. It has the dude that played the dragon killer in The Hobbit. I can't think of his name. But he plays in this, and you remember Tom Cruise did The Mummy? Well, they were going to do a monster movie like universe, like MCU did, but it got canceled halfway through. Fantastic movie, though. I mean, it was supposed to be a second one, so the way it ends, they had already planned to do it, and they stopped it. So, but yeah, fantastic movie. Not crazy talk. James, number 3.
So when it comes to military movies, there's been a lot of good ones, and man. A lot of them are based on what has happened over the years and what we've learned in history. But this one, just for me, is one of my all-time favorite military movies, aside from Lone Survivor. I'm going with 13 Hours.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God. It is so good. If you know John Krasinski from The Office, you're going to be calling him Daddy.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I highly recommend it. It's so good.
See, I can't call crazy talk on movies I hadn't seen. Number 3 for me is Predator. 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That movie was one of the best action movies ever, man. That shit was crazy. From beginning to end, nothing but action, bro.
Yeah. And Jesse Ventura.
Yes. Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers.
The invisible demon that they're fighting. Yeah,
that was really good because he was hunting him down. The Predator was hunting them, and it was really, really good. Number 2, Chris.
So number 2 for me, kind of date myself here. the original Rambo.
Ooh.
First Blood.
First Blood Part 1. Without the original Rambo First Blood, the rest of the Rambo series never happens.
Yeah, so that movie was called First Blood. It wasn't Rambo Part 1 or nothing until 2 and 3 came out. Yeah.
Right.
First Blood was fantastic. I love Sylvester Stallone. Somehow he didn't make it in my top 5, but I do like that movie a lot. I like a lot of Sylvester Stallone. Number 3, Emily. Number 2, Emily, 2.
I got Sucker Punch.
I've never seen it.
She gives you the evil eye. What are you talking about? You never seen it?
I don't know.
Nah, she giving you that witchcraft eye, like I'm gonna tie you down and you gonna watch this.
That almost looked to me like we watched together. What the hell are you talking about, sir?
We have not watched that together. I don't know it at all. Number 2 for you, James.
Number 2, man, I don't know how you top a performance in this movie that I saw, but number 2, I'm going with The Dark Knight.
You know what? I want to call crazy talk because it's a superhero movie, but I just like that fucking movie so much. What he goes in fucking Hong Kong.
Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, I'm sorry, you're not topping that. Like, Mark Hamill can do all the Joker voices that he wants, even include the insidious laugh that he gave the character. But when it comes to Heath Ledger, man, he put his heart and soul into that character.
It was a good movie. I like when he went to Hong Kong and snatched that dude out of a building and dropped him off.
That was a good one.
Yeah, man, it's a good movie. Probably my favorite superhero movie ever. To be honest with you, but you know you can't take me on really like superhero movies. Number 2 for me was The Last Boy Scout. Man, if you haven't seen that movie, Chris, have you seen it?
Yes.
Man, the opening scene on the football field. Like that shit hooks you in for the whole movie right there. Because now you're like, why the fuck did that happen?
Right.
Go ahead.
So what?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Has anybody else seen it? So in the opening scene, it's a football game in the NFL. And then he hands off the ball, and the dude pulls out a gun and shoots the defenders in front of him so he can score a touchdown.
That's where, oh my God. There's a dude I follow on YouTube, and he does like his own football commentary when the NFL rolls around. And he keeps showing that clip of like a football player pulling out a gun and shooting the dude in front of him. I'm like, where's that from?
Yeah, The Last Boy Scout. That's how the movie starts, bro. Like, that's opening scene. It's real good movie, bro. Real good movie. Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis, and man, the shit is good. Yeah. So, number 1 action movie, Chris.
So, I'm going post 9/11 with this, and what turned into this is going to come up later in one of our other segments, but The Bourne Identity. From the opening scene where Matt Damon is sitting on the park bench and he realizes that he is a lethal weapon, and what follows in that entire Bourne series. Again, same thing with First Blood. The whole Rambo series doesn't take off without the first one, First Blood. The whole Bourne series does not take off without the first one, The Bourne Identity. And that thing was action-packed from start to finish.
I want to talk. I watched Bourne Identity, and I never seen any of the other ones. I wasn't a biggest fan as you were of it, but my dad loves those movies so much. I'm not going to call crazy talk because I just love my dad, and if he likes them, there's got to be something to it. So maybe I need to give it another chance.
They were filled with action from start to finish, and every single one of them, and it gives you a look at realism in a post 9/11 world.
I just don't like Matt Damon. Number one, Emily. You're on mute.
I've got Underworld.
You got what?
Underworld.
Underworld.
Ooh, good choice.
That was a good movie. That was action packed start to finish. I can't crazy talk that. I did like that movie. But
Doesn't have what's her name? The main character from Resident Evil.
No, Mila Jovovich isn't in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a. I can't remember her. Anyway, she fucks people up in that movie. It is a female character though. She does do some fucking damage. I like that movie. Good call. Number one, James.
Number one, I'm taking it back to a classic, and like you had this in your top 5, but I got it in my number 1 spot. I'm going with Predator.
Yep, good call.
I mean, from beginning to end, it was just nonstop. And talk about an all-star cast. You got Arnold, you got Carl Weathers, you got Jesse the Body Ventura. I mean, the list goes on and on.
So it's number 3 for me. And that's actually I'm sharing the show again. That's actually a good segue into mine because I had that one at number 3, right? And has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. The only guy to be in my list twice. The only Schwarzenegger movie that I think was better than Predator and just as action-packed, Commando. Commando is the greatest action movie of all time. They take his daughter. This motherfucker goes in there, blowing people, shooting people with a rocket launcher. I mean, killing the dude on the plane. Then he just tells the stewardess, "Don't disturb him. He's dead tired." I mean, Commando was a fantastic movie. Have you seen it, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, I love Commando. You seen it, James?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
It's so good. You have to watch it. Best action movie ever.
I would definitely watch it.
We have 86 people watching. I appreciate that from everybody. So what y'all want to do next? Let's see. I want to end with the 3. So I'm going to call some crazy talk on this one because I am a big critic of comedies because I do not like most comedy. And for somebody that doesn't like blue comedy, if you know what I mean, what they call it, I mean, that's an old term. Blue means dirty comedy, really. I'm not a fan of blue comedy, but I loved Andrew Dice Clay. So go figure that one out. Number 5, Chris.
So not everybody's cup of tea, but I kind of liked what the comedy stuff that Leslie Nielsen put out. So I'm going to put Naked Gun at number 5.
That's not crazy talk at all. They didn't make my top 5, but I love the Naked Gun series. Every single one of them, especially the first one, man.
Hey, anything Leslie Nielsen was in was comedy gold, especially the scary movies.
Oh, dude, Dracula Dead and loving it.
Bro, when he's the president in Scary Movie 3, that shit took me out.
I agree with you, Chris. You'll get no crazy talk out of me. I love Naked Gun. Emily, number 5. You're on mute. We can read lips.
I said I got Crybaby.
Crybaby. Not in my top 5, but you know, this is your own personal top 5 list. And it definitely fits the bill. It's a comedy. Like I said, you got everybody has their own style of comedy, is what I was alluding to before we started this, by the way. Number 5 for you, James.
Number 5 for me, I mean, you got the right movie on there, just not the right movie. But number 5, I'm doing Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Oh, yeah, that was real funny. Dan Marino's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Einhorn is a man. I kissed
Oh, my God.
Man, you couldn't make that movie today. They would cancel that movie so fucking fast.
Bro, it was for closing out the top 5. It was either Ace Ventura or Tropic Thunder.
I've never seen Tropic Thunder, but I do like Ace Ventura. Number 5 for me, that's real funny. Number 5 for me is Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, because When Nature Calls was better than the first one. I laughed the whole fucking time, especially when he throws the spear and sticks in his leg. He goes, "Oh, Oda, throw me a spear," and then he hits him in the other leg with his spear. He's like, "Ah!" I was dying. And
bro, the slideshow too.
God, dude, that's a lovely room of death you have here. Oh my God, man, that movie.
I'm not even going to argue that. Both of them were just too good.
He's like, I've got to fight him. Goes to punch him, bites his nose. He hits him, he shoot him in the ass with the arrow. He's like, "Ooh!" And then you look at him. But the best part of this movie is when he said, "Aoda, interpret for me." He goes, "Nobody wants war. War is hell. Nobody wants to fight." And he translates it to, "I want to fight, so go to hell." I was dying. I was fucking dying, bro.
Nah, one of my personal favorites is Shish Kebab, Shawshank Redemption, Chicago! You're out of there!
Look, that movie was fucking great, bro. One of my favorite comedies of all time, obviously in my top 5. Number 4, Chris.
So I went to the movie theater and watched this with my first wife while we were dating. And one of the lines in there has stuck with me since I watched the movie. And the scene is a football team is kicking a field goal, right? And the guy comes in to block it, and he misses the block. And after she kicks the ball, she ends up hitting him right in the nut. And the line she says is, "Welcome to football." Unnecessary roughness comes in at number 4 for me.
So look, I'm gonna tell you something. So I was gonna do sports movies next week as a part of the thing. Unnecessary Roughness is in my top 5 sports movies of all time, bro. With fucking Scott Bakula as a 40-year-old quarterback because he's got 1 year of fucking eligibility left. Sinbad's in that motherfucker. That movie is fucking hilarious. Like, no crazy talk here. Great choice, Chris. Great choice. Emily, number 4.
I've got The Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that was a good comedy. I actually liked The Breakfast Club. Believe it or not, you and I are simpatico in that. The Breakfast Club was fucking great, man.
It definitely had its fair share of comedic scenes. That's for sure.
Oh, fantastic movie. You'll get no argument on me. I like The Breakfast Club. James, number 4.
Number 4, this dude left us way too soon. He had a lot to give when it came to movies, but man, he made some killer movies. But one of my all-time favorites, I gotta go with Tommy Boy with Chris Farley.
Dude, it was in my short list. It didn't make my top 5. Tommy Boy is fucking great. Especially when that deer rips you, man.
I will quote that line to this day. I swear I've seen some things in my life, but that was awesome. Dude, oh man. Sorry about your car, dude. That sucks.
Yes. Was this Tommy Boy or was this Black Sheep? I think it was Tommy Boy. My favorite part in that movie is when David Spade is drunk as fuck and then he's spilling beer everywhere and they get pulled over. And Chris Farley's like, "Bro, you're never gonna believe I wasn't drinking." He goes, "You know what? I got an idea." And they get out of the car. Bees!
Oh,
bees
Tommy
everywhere!
Boy. Yep, Tommy Boy.
And the cop's like, "I'm allergic." The other cop's like, "Please, you get me some help." For the love of God. Fantastic.
And then on top of that, you got one of the best comedian actors being Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dan Aykroyd is, man, absolutely. Everything with Dan Aykroyd is good. Great fucking choice. Y'all have put some good movies on tonight. I was expecting a lot of crazy talk, but y'all are fucking on fire here. I appreciate that. Number 4 for me, and I wanted to put it higher, but the 3 above it, I just couldn't. Number 4 for me is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I died this whole fucking movie laughing, especially with coconuts. I was dying.
Yeah, the one scene that gets me will forever be the Black Knight scene.
Oh yeah, 'tis a scratch, dude. You have no arm.
Scratch your arms off. No, it isn't. Well, what's that then?
It's a flesh wound, dude. The rabbit, bro. The rabbit was funny.
The killer rabbit.
But I think my favorite is when he asked him the question and the bridge keeper's like, I don't know that. And it fucking throws the bridge keeper off and they cross it. Look, that whole fucking movie was great, y'all. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is one of the best movies you will ever watch. I will die crying the whole time.
Yes.
Fucking great. Number 3, Chris.
The number 3 has an actor in it that you generally don't associate with comedy. Okay. But when an ex-con and a policewoman decide that they're going to kidnap a millionaire's baby that was quintuplets
movie,
Nicolas Cage in Raising Arizona.
Fantastic.
Oh my God. But again, you don't associate Nicolas Cage with comedy. That's one of the few that he ever did, and it was excellent.
Dude, Raising Arizona, I want to put that in my top 5 so bad too, man. Raising Arizona and John Goodman in it, him and the other dude, they fucking escape out of jail. They come out of the mud and shit.
Yep.
And man, they fucking took God, what was his name? Something, Nathan something Jr. And then she's like, we got the good one, honey. Oh, that shit was great. And then he's just like, he keeps getting arrested, and she works in the jail. And then he comes in there like the 5th time and she's crying. And he's like, what's wrong? And she's like, my man left me or whatever. He's like, well, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying, any man that would leave you deserve to be horsewhipped, and I'd be glad to do it for you. Like, that shit was fucking hilarious, man. Great movie. Man, y'all are killing it tonight. Killing it, man. I'm having a blast, but I want to go watch every single movie that we've really talked about in this comedy, man. I just dying. Number 3, Emily.
So I've got How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
I've seen it, but I can't remember nothing about it. So it's hard for me to call crazy talk, but I have seen it. Like, I watched it with April one night. April's my sister, and she put it on, and I can't remember anything about it, to be honest with you.
I could force you to watch it again.
I mean, you can just tell me.
Hey, yo, save that for behind closed doors, Emily.
We'll have the door shut and locked.
That's right.
Somehow I think handcuffs are going to be involved.
No, we got straps.
Yeah, with straps. Yeah, not handcuff straps, bro. Full on.
It's like strapped to the bed frame.
Yes. So James is like, Chris is just like, dude, what the fuck? Number 3.
So number 3, I'm maybe throwing a wild card here. I'm not sure if any of y'all have heard of this one, but I watched this when I was 10 years old. And man, it's been stuck in my head ever since, and I've watched it a couple times more. I'm going with Animal House.
What you mean, have we saw it? Yeah, I've seen Animal House.
Oh, hey, I wasn't sure.
Your time.
All-time classic.
Yeah. Animal House. Did you like Animal House, Chris?
Yes.
Fucking Belushi's the best, man. He died way too young.
The fucking zit scene had me in stitches.
This isn't on my list, and I doubt it's going to be on any of your lists either. But Chris is probably the only one who's heard of this. But what about Porky's, Chris?
Yes. Oh, dude, my God. Oh,
dude, it sounds familiar. I'm not even going to lie.
Looking at a hole into the women's locker room. And one the dudes took his dick out and put it in the hole because the girls were in the locker room. And then the teacher come, the big Russian fat arms are this big. And then they're like, she's coming for it, dude. She's coming for it. She's about to get it. And she grabs it. And she goes, he goes, ah! And she's just yanking it through the hole. I was dying, bro. Dying.
Tears. Yes.
Dude, Porky's. Oh my God. That shit, man, she was just yanking his. It's a very dirty movie.
If you're not into adult scene comedy, it's not the movie for you, but that shit was freaking hilarious.
No, it is not. It is not for you. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right. So before I get to my number 3, you ever heard of Kentucky Fried Movie?
The what?
The Kentucky Fried Movie?
Uh-uh.
You got to check that shit. That's a comedy, but you talk about adult scenes, it's triple adult scenes, but it is a comedy and it is. Anyway, I will tell you about the movie when we are off the air. It is that bad. So when we talk after the show, I'll tell you about it. I can't even discuss it on here. Number 3 for me is Fletch Lives. If you, any of y'all have probably seen it, maybe Chris, but Fletch Lives, man, that shit was so fucking funny, man. He's a LA reporter and from the 80s, right? And his grandma or aunt or something gives him a house in Mississippi. And so he goes down there, he inherits his house, and they're just like stereotypical hillbillies down there, bro. And that movie is like, especially when he goes to investigate a murder and a cop comes in there and he's got this fake mustache and fake accent and he's got called bug bust. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" Just acting stupid. And the cop's like, "What are you doing in here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm here to kill very special bugs." And he's like, "What kind of special bugs?" And he calls it something I can't remember. He goes, "They're very dangerous. Like they're very coniferous. Like if they get inside your ear, they will eat your brain. It's crazy. Look, I got one. I got a queen. Just bend over and listen to it. You can tell it's a queen by the squeal." And he does like that. And he goes, "Oh my God, I got it." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh man. So, oh God, put your head over and then hit your head over and over. Hurry, hurry." He's like, the cop's doing this. He goes, "And you have to go, blah, blah." And he's like, "Oh," and then he sneaks out and leaves. Oh my fucking Chevy Chase is the funniest motherfucker I've ever seen. That scene right there, I was dying, bro. He's like, "Blah, blah," like fucking hilarious. Number 2, Chris.
Number 2, I'm bringing back another Liam Neeson staple. If you've never seen this movie, it's an absolute must.
Don't call me Shirley.
Andrew, don't give it away. I'm serious.
Okay.
Don't call me Shirley.
Oh, Airplane?
Yes.
Oh, all-time classic.
Look, Airplane was fantastic. You'll get no crazy talk out of me. I died watching that movie. Leslie Nielsen is fucking great, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, and don't call me Shirley.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley. Bro, I swear though, the jive translation scene will have me in stitches. Like that is one of the funniest scenes I have ever seen in a comedy movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. Dude, look, earlier. Chris, do you remember the cover art where he's riding on a broken off statue penis?
Yeah. Yes.
It was fucking great, man. Oh my God. Great call, though. Great call.
Think about me being like, I'm 10, 11, 12 years old, and this movie comes out. And what it does for the mind of somebody that age, yes, that I was dying watching that shit.
That shit was great. I think I was about 5 or 6 when I saw it because we had HBO growing up. That shit was hilarious. Emily, number 2.
I've got The Toy.
Fantastic movie, bro. Fantastic. Chris, you've seen The Toy, right?
Yes.
And that's Jenga.
James, have you seen The Toy?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're a lot younger, but you got to go back and watch these. Man, they fucking buys him somebody. He's this rich kid, so he buys him a person. And he's rich and Friday.
Oh my God.
It's fucking great, man. That was all these.
Mommy, the gumbo.
all these movies are great so far. I absolutely like y'all are knocking it out of the park. I'm so impressed with y'all. James, too.
Man, between my number 2 and number 1, it was such a hard choice, but number 2, I got it at number 2 for a reason, because I saw this movie when I was 10 years old, and I was in tears when I first saw it. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, yeah. Yes. You made your top 5 too.
Yeah, all time, one of my best favorite comedies. That is easily top 5 for a reason.
I agree. That's why it's in my top 5. By the way, we have 100 people watching right now. So I appreciate that from y'all. Number 2 for me, Spaceballs. Bro, that shit had me dying like from beginning to fucking end. They're combing the they actually got big ass combs out there, like fucking in because you find anything negative, sir. Squad 2, you find anything negative, sir. Squad 3, negative, sir. Squad 4, we ain't found
shit. Oh man, I love the fact that Mel Brooks really went to George Lucas like, look, I'm making a parody movie of Star Wars. Do I have your permission to do this? You got it. Go for it. And what we got was comedic gold.
Dude, fucking barf, man. He goes, I'm a mom. Half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
And then you got Michael Winslow. I've lost the beefs, I've lost the creeps, and I've lost the sweets. The what, and the what?
You know, the beats. I mean, that shit. But the funniest part to me, I guess one of the funniest parts that made me laugh is when they hit the fucking satellite dish with a jar of raspberry preserves, and it starts coming down the screen, and he licks and he goes, "We've been jammed." He goes, "What was it? Blueberry? No, raspberry.
Raspberry, yeah.
Only Lone Star would dare give me the raspberry."
Bro, Rick Moranis is a national treasure. I don't care.
Oh yeah, he was definitely fucking. That shit was great. He goes, "I bet she gives great helmet." I was like, "What the fuck, bro?" Oh, number 1, Chris.
Okay, so my number 1, I'm going to give a few quotes and see if either one of you can guess what it is. Well, it got so that every pissant prairie punk who thought he could shoot a gun would ride into town and try out the Waco Kid. I must have killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille. He got pretty gritty.
I already know. That's already my number 1.
I started to hear the word draw in my sleep. Then one day, I was just walking down the street when I heard a voice behind me say,
"Reach for it, mister."
I spun around, and there I was, face to face with the 6-year-old kid. Well, I just threw my guns down and walked away. The little bastard shot me
in the ass.
I looked to the nearest salon and crawled inside a whiskey bottle. Nothing better than Blazing Saddles. Some of the driest, clean comedy you'll ever see.
Look, that shit was fucking funny. So Blazing Saddles was great, but do you also remember fucking God, what was the name of the Trinity?
Yes, I remember that one too.
Oh my God, the dude eating beans, man, that shit. And the big dude would just pound him on the head. I mean, like that. Those two movies remind me of each other so much. Trinity is Still My Name. My Name Is Nobody. Those movies are fucking great. But yes, Blazing Saddles. Where the white women at?
Bro, the fact that it had "Have a Nice Day" on the back of their robes, I was like, yo.
Another one. They said you was hung. Right? Some of the best quotes you'll ever get from a movie.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Fucking great. Emily, what's number 1 for you, comedy?
So this may seem kind of random, but it is Death at a Funeral.
Can't hear you.
Death at a Funeral.
Oh, is that with like Chris Rock, Martin Lawrence,
Yes.
fucking the South Pole elf from the movie Elf?
Yes.
All right, respect. That's a good movie.
I've never seen it or heard of it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's funny.
I never heard of it.
We can watch it. You might like it.
Mike, I'm gonna put you on mute for a second. Get him to be quiet for a second. Hey, do you remember 4 Rooms?
Vaguely.
What was the movie?
Do you remember, Emily? It's called 4 Rooms. It had Madonna. So what it was, there's this bellhop. He's a famous guy. I can't remember his name though. And he goes to all these different rooms, and they got all these different scenarios. So he walks in this one room, and they're playing a game. And he goes, "Hey man, we're gonna give you $10,000, and he's gonna put his finger here. And if he's gonna strike his lighter, and if his lighter doesn't strike 10 times in a row, I want you to cut his finger off." That they were playing high stakes rich people. This is a ritzy hotel. So he puts his finger there. So this bellhop, he's a bellhop now. He's got the cleaver up, and the guy strikes it the first time and it doesn't go. He goes, "Hold on." He goes, "Chop!" He grabs his $10,000 and walks out the door. I was like, "Oh shit!" Anyway, number one. Number one. Yeah.
Number one, I'm in the same boat as Chris. I'm going with Blazing Saddles. The amount of comedy in that movie alone, like, I will quote that movie from beginning to end the same way I'll quote Monty Python and the Holy Grail from beginning to end, obviously excluding a certain word that was used in that movie. But regardless, it was just pure comedy gold. I see no reason why it shouldn't be in the number one spot.
Hey, I love that movie. My number one isn't a Mel Brooks movie, but do you remember History of the World Part 1?
Yeah, that is a Mel Brooks movie.
Yes, fucking hilarious.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you said my number one is not.
Oh, that's not what I'm saying is this isn't my number one, but this is a Mel Brooks movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that was a good one.
So my number one movie of all-time comedy is Spies Like Us.
Yeah.
That shit fucking made me rain tears, especially when they fucking put them in the little simulator, man. They come out. He's like, "You want to get some coffee?" Yeah, but man, they do, but no, they drop them. So what happens, James, is they're in the 80s, like they're at the height of the Cold War. And Dan Aykroyd's a code breaker, really smart, has all the answers. And Chevy Chase is a slacker, but his dad's somebody, so he's in the FBI. So they go take this test to get a promotion. Well, they just got, and Chevy Chase comes in there with a cast and an iPad. So he pulls it out. He's got answers in there, and he's like, "The pressure!" And he grabs the thing off of it, starts writing down, and Dan Aykroyd covers for him. He goes, "Everybody stop! Anyway." So they're like, "Hey, look, we brought him in there." And Dan Aykroyd's like, "You firing us? You suspending us? What's going on? Promotion? Yeah, you're our new GLG 20s." He goes, "Whoa, that's quite a step up in pay." He goes, "Yeah." So they drop him into the training zone, right? So they get down there and they're both like this, and they're just talking, and then all of a sudden you hear, "Whoa!" He goes, "Was that me?" And then these ninjas appear out of the trees, and then Dan Aykroyd picks up a branch and he goes, "Take one more step, and I'm gonna start swinging." Chevy Chase goes, "You hear that? He's threatening us. Let's do it." And then the dude turns the lights on. He goes, "Welcome. We had to know what we were working with. We had to assess y'all." And then Dan Aykroyd looks at the paper, and Chevy Chase says, "What's it say?" "And pussies." Oh my God. That is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my whole life. Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase, they dropped them in Afghanistan, bro, in this container. And then they open it up, and he's just drinking beer. And then the Russians meet them. They don't know it's a Russian. So they trick them, step on their feet, they get their car, right? So they're driving. And they pull up, the Dan Aykroyd's sleeping, and Chevy Chase is driving. When he comes up, and there's just there's 200 armed men on camels, and he wakes Dan Aykroyd up. He goes, "It's your turn to drive." And he gets up, he looks, he goes, "Hey, these guys are Afghani freedom fighters. They're our allies. We're Americans." They raise their hand up, then it cuts to the next scene, upside down by a rope, getting kicked. Doctor. Man, that movie is my favorite comedy of all time.
One of my favorite scenes in that is where they're side by side with the nuclear warhead and they have no idea what they're messing with. They were lost. What do we do here? You know, that shit was hilarious.
That shit was
the nuclear warhead, my dude. What do you think you need to do? Run the other direction, damn it.
Dude, when they threw the fucking when they threw the grenade in the box of grenade, he throws it and Chevy Chase catches a grenade. He goes, "What's this?" And Dan Aykroyd goes, "You don't want it." So he turns around, he throws it back in the building and drops in a whole box of grenades. But dude, before we move on, one of the funniest scenes in there is like, so they think they're doctors. That's why they get out of being in the rope. So they're like, "Hey, maybe you guys can perform this surgery for us instead of me." Well, it turns out that they were spies too. So he goes there and Dan Aykroyd's reading on what to do, and he's telling Chevy Chase what to do. So Dan Aykroyd's got the scalpel, and he goes in his chest. He goes, "Why are you cutting into his chest? This is the appendix." He goes, "I didn't cut his chest. Did you see me cut into his chest? Do you want to come do this? You come on up and do it." And they're like, "No." So then he goes like this. He goes, "Okay," and the first incision. Then the dude dies right before it. So they walk out of the tent. Great fucking movie. Great movie, and I was dying. My favorite. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
I'm gonna definitely make sure to watch it.
Oh, it's hilarious. You won't regret it, I promise.
Yes, you won't. So next top 5. Ooh, horror. Excellent. Chris, number 5.
So I'm gonna go simpleton here. Friday the 13th, the original.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. So Jason Voorhees was not in Friday 13th, the original. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, she fucked them kids up.
Yeah, good choice to get things going.
It was. I like the Friday 13th movies. Emily, number 5.
Number 5, I've got Carrie.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
They pissed her off, boy. At prom.
Valid. Hey, in her defense, a valid crash out. Very valid.
Man, they dropped that blood on her, man. She burned that bitch to the ground.
Yes, sir. Hey, she had every reason in the book.
Right now, we're doing top 5 horror movies, Terry. That's what we're doing. That was fantastic, though. I'll accept that one all day long. Number 5 for you, James.
Number 5 for me, this is definitely going to be screaming recency bias, but I mean, man, the universe that is involved with it really speaks volume. I'm going with the first Conjuring movie.
Halloween, the original, that was a good one. I've not seen The Conjuring, bro, because I can't do that to myself. Horror movies, there's a reason I don't watch them. They put me in a very, very bad place mentally. I don't know if y'all ever had problems with like your mental health or anything. I generally don't, but horror movies put my mind in a bad place, so I generally don't watch them. Every once in a while, I'll get in the mood for a scary movie, and we'll find one on Netflix, and it'll be super ass. Like The Witch was super ass, and there was one where they went into the woods. It was super ass.
The Ritual.
Yeah, The Ritual. Fucking terrible.
I thought The Ritual was pretty interesting, but definitely not top 5 worthy.
No, absolutely not.
Not even top 50.
No, I don't think so either.
I think the only reason, like, in my opinion, that it was actually good was because of the scenery that was involved, and then towards the end, we actually get to see what this Nordic monster looks like. And it looked cool, but at the same time, I was like, nah, definitely not a horror movie. Maybe a thriller, if you could call it that, but definitely not horror.
Maybe not. So for me, it was the original series that came out that had Tim Curry as the clown.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I get it was a miniseries, but it counts as a movie as well. It was just, I'm taking it at number 5. Chris, number 4.
Number 4 for me, I'm going to go with Poltergeist.
Yeah, bro. What was that she says? That famous line when she's sitting in front of TV. They're here.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're here.
You scared the shit out of me, bro. I was like 4 years old, man. Not cool. I mean,
Look through the TV and pull you inside the TV. What the fuck is that?
Hell, even Undertaker went with something like that as part of his theme. Are you scared? He's here.
dude, no, I'm gonna tell you, I watched Poltergeist because we had HBO. It was like 4 or 5 when I watched that shit. Like, not cool. Good movie though. Number 4, Emily.
Number 4, I have 1408.
Never heard of it.
Valid.
Really?
It's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with like some hotel room in Chicago where Al Capone was doing a lot of his and that's where Stephen King got the idea to make the movie 1408.
Yeah, it's got John Cusack, Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Okay, I'll watch it, but I've never seen it. What about you, James? Number 4.
Number 4, you could probably chalk this up as a action movie, but I mean, man, it was the mid 2000s at the time. But I'm gonna have to go with Freddy versus Jason, like the ultimate face-off between 2 horror icons.
Yeah, I mean that's a horror movie. I remember seeing it. I remember watching the ending. That's really all I remember, and I'm like, man, that's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, the movie itself is just from beginning to end, just awesome.
I got you. Number 4 for me is Rose Red. So if you've not seen Rose Red, you're missing out. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, Rose Red is, man, that shit is creepy as fuck, man. It's like this house, right? This is old house. And while you're in it, it changes different rooms, add rooms, subtracts rooms. What happened was this woman and her indentured servant murdered the husband of the house by throwing him out of the top of the steeple. And then they go on a vengeance against men. And that shit's just creepy as fuck, man. Good movie. I like. Y'all should watch it. Worth the watch, I promise. Emily, wouldn't you say it's worth the watch?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's real good. Number 3, Chris.
I'm gonna go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original?
The original.
Yeah, that shit's scary as hell. The remake
was good. I'm sorry, the remake was definitely good, but hey, big shout out to the original.
So the remake is the one where the old man's like, "You're so dead, you don't even know it." Then the wall opens and he comes out with a chainsaw. Is that the remake?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really good too, Terry. I like the original better, but yeah, when he came out, the wall just opened and he came out charging at him with the chainsaw. That shit was crazy.
Not to mention, you got the goat Arlie Ermy in that movie as well.
Definitely. Number 3, Emily.
So number 3, I have Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, good fucking movie.
Good choice.
Clarice, look.
Mhm.
You get in there. I mean, like, movie's pretty dirty too because
Oh yeah.
yeah, they said some I can smell your and then when he's telling her story, yes, and you heard nothing but the lambs that night, Clarice. That shit was creepy.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Sir Anthony Hopkins. That dude was creepy as hell in that movie.
Yeah, yes, the fuck he was. Hannibal Lecter is one of the greatest characters ever. Good job on that one. I mean, no crazy talking, and we're flying through. What about you, James? Number 3.
So there were a lot of slashers that were being done, and it seemed as though like certain directors were trying to try to copy and paste what Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and everything like that was doing. But along comes Wes Craven in the 90s, and he puts out the movie Scream. What's your favorite scary movie? Like, just the opening scene alone will send chills down your spine.
Very popular scary movie. I was not a big a fan as other people were, even though I do like Matthew Lillard a lot, and he saved that movie for me. I'm getting woozy here. But yeah, I mean, not terrible. I definitely wouldn't call Crazy Talk on that.
I wouldn't call Crazy Talk on it. For me, Scary Movie was more of a comedy because they did all of the dumb stuff that you're not supposed to do in those movies that ended up getting them in bad positions. So to me, it wasn't scary. It was more funny than it was scary.
He's talking about Scream, not Scary Movie.
Scream did a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, Scary Movie was a parody of Scream, correct?
Yes.
I don't the where the kids were appearing in the wall. I remember People Under the Stairs. That was a pretty fucked up movie.
I think the one Terry's talking about is Poltergeist because there were faces in the wall.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the wall was breathing.
Hey, look.
Fucking scared the shit out of me.
People Under the Stairs was fucked up. Dude had his tongue cut off. He's like, and it shows. Anyway, crazy. Number 3 for me is this graphic right here. Bram Stoker's Dracula, man. This is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And it wasn't really a lot of gore and all that, but like the movie scared the hell out of me when I saw it as a kid. That dude was creepy as fuck, man. And like just really, really good movie. Hey, look, the ending of Emily Rose was fucked up. We don't talk about that movie.
Hey, big shout out to Jennifer Carpenter, man.
Dude, that movie when on Exorcism of Emily Rose, where he wakes up in the middle of the night in her dorm room and she's laid down like this with her back arched up and her arms are just stuck like that and her eyes are all black. He's like, and he just sneaks. No, bro, no, you get in the hand. Like I'm going to jail for domestic abuse that night because you got like that shit was the scariest thing I've ever seen.
I still yet to see it, but damn, I want to see it.
Wait till you see that part. That shit was creepy as fuck, Terry.
Only thing I saw was the barnyard scene where the priest is like, "How many demons are in you?" And she's like counting in different languages how many demons are inside her, and then it gets to the last guy, and I am Lucifer. It's like, damn!
That movie was fucked up. Who's next?
Did you just do your number 3?
Are we on number 3 or 2? I did Bram Stoker's Dracula. It should be you.
Yeah, we're on 2 then.
Okay. So for me, number 2. Sometimes I get into paranormal stuff. So let me tell you, this 2007 special that came out called Paranormal Activity scared the living daylights out of me because they set up cameras in their house and recorded the shit as it was going on. It was real stuff, and there was a lot of controversy over whether it was real or not. But everything they recorded actually happened. So to me, Paranormal Activity comes in at number 2. One of the scariest things I've ever seen.
So let me tell you why I've never seen that movie, Paranormal Activity. So one day I was like 29, 30. And I got this buddy who's same age as me. He's like 6 months older than me. Poltergeist number 2. He's like 6 months older than me. His name's Andre. He calls me one night at 1 a.m. I shit you not. So he calls me at 1 a.m. Hello, he's like, "Hey man, I just want to talk to you for a little while." I'm like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" I was like, "Is anything important?" He goes, "No, man, I just need to talk to somebody for a little while." I'm like, "Well, what is it, bro? Tell me, what, unburden yourself." He goes, "You don't understand. I don't need to talk about nothing, bro. I just like, no, bro, I just need to talk to somebody." I'm like, "All right, well, whatever." He's like, "Look, man, I just watched this movie called Paranormal Activity, man, and I ain't feeling so good, bro. I keep hearing noises." This is a 30-year-old man. Yeah. He wasn't joking either. God, he was not joking. He's like, "Bro, I can't be alone right now." I never watched it.
One of the scariest things I've ever watched. I kid you not.
Yeah, I'm never gonna watch it. Never, because of that conversation. He wasn't joking. He was not joking at all.
Yeah.
Number 2, Emily. I got goosebumps.
So for number 2, I have 13 Ghosts.
Oh, fantastic movie. Scared the shit out of me. I was older too when that shit came out. Especially that one dude. He was scary as fuck. He's like,
yeah, it was like a juggernaut or something like that.
Well, they had a juggernaut too. 13 Ghosts is number 6. Yeah, I mean, they had to do with the box hat, and it had, first of all, it had oh my god, what is his real name? The main character of the show.
Oh shit! He was the main villain in Spy Kids. Fuck, what is his name? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Dude,
Tony Shalhoub?
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub, man. I love Tony Shalhoub. 13 Ghosts was a great movie. Good call, Emily. What about you, James? What's number 2 for you?
Man, I first saw this movie when I was 14 years old, and even then, horror movies still scared the living shit out of me. It was a particular scene in this movie. It was the alley scene where the dude had his arms stretched out, his glove is like scraping off the concrete wall. The original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it had Johnny Depp in it too.
Yes, it did. His very first movie too, which is even crazier.
Yeah, he met an untimely end in his bed.
Oh yeah. Whew, the amount of jump scares in that movie. Oh,
dude, I got it. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 was my favorite of that series. The Dream Team.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, I like that. Number 2 for me. You'll notice a theme on my last 3. Number 2 for me was Interview with a Vampire. So
that's a good one.
I mean, you got Brad Pitt, you got Tom Cruise, you got Kirsten Dunst, man, and the shit. And what happens to Kirsten Dunst? That shit was crazy. That whole movie was fantastic from beginning to end. Lestat and man, perfect movie, almost perfect movie. If you don't know, like that movie was 10 of 10, high as you can get. Rating for me. This is really, really good. Number 1, Chris.
So number 1, there's something to be said about a demon-possessed child and the attempts to get rid of the demon.
Good movie.
And it becomes the first ever horror film nominated for Best Picture. I'm putting Exorcist at number 1.
So, hey, the Butterfly Effect was really good. I love Ashton Kutcher in that movie, but yeah, The Exorcist, man, like she's crazy. Like she looked really crazy, and keep in mind she was like 20 at the time, but she was playing like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a priest in there, and then she's like, you want to fuck me, and it's a demon just really fucking with him, and then her head starts spinning. That movie scared the absolute shit out of me. I was like 5 when I saw that movie, bro. I wasn't the same ever.
You watch some crazy stuff like that as a child, and it affects you for life.
It does.
It does. But hey, if you see the opening for Scary Movie 2, oh my god, I swear to God, it just washes that shit away.
Like that shit was not cool. Butterfly Effect was really good though, Terry. I really did like that movie a lot. Number 1, Emily.
So my number 1 is Queen of the Damned.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I like that movie. She was vicious in that movie too, to be honest. Really, really good. Number 1, James.
Number 1, I'm going with Chris as well. This movie solidified and killed 2 birds with 1 stone as far as demon possession and horror go. The Exorcist, like it got the ball rolling for a lot of directors to come out of the blue, be like, hey, we got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It was, yeah, especially when, like, there was a TV show that I watched with my mom. It was like I Love the 70s on VH1 or something like that. It was showing, I was 13, 14 years old, and it was showing scenes from The Exorcist. And I'm like, oh, hell to the no. Hell no. I wouldn't watch that if you paid me every single penny on earth.
No, Exorcist, they messed me up for a long time.
And the movie cover, oh my God.
Yeah, crazy. So my number 3 was Bram Stoker's Dracula. My number 2 was Interview with a Vampire. If you haven't figured out the theme here yet, I love vampire movies. And for me, the greatest horror movie of all time was The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys was a fantastic movie. It scared the hell out of me too, bro. When he bit that dude on the, so there was like these mosh pitters and the vampires come flying in. This dude had a bald ass head. Like I'm talking about shaved bald. He bit him on the head, on top of the head, and blood starts gushing everywhere. The Lost Boys, bro. The Lost Boys is my favorite horror movie of all time. Right? So I don't know. Have y'all seen The Lost Boys?
I know of it, but no, I've never seen it.
Have you seen it, Chris?
Yes.
Man, that shit was good, man. That shit was real good.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I won't say that part, but the grandpa, I love the grandpa. He's hilarious. All right, so we'll go to our last segment. Top 5 trilogies. Ooh, I am so interested to hear y'all's top 5 trilogies. So we'll start with Chris. Number 5, Chris.
Number 5. A lot of people watched the first one of this. Not somebody watched the second and third. But are you going to SpaceyCon next year? You want to book our rooms now. I'm going with Mighty Ducks Trilogy at number 5. I don't think you can go wrong here. You know, it inspired a whole generation of kids. Let's just put it that way.
I wanted to get into hockey just because of that trilogy.
And a professional team took the name.
Yes. It
was so popular. Mighty Ducks did not make my top 5, but I loved I loved all 3. I love number 1 the best, though. Emilio Estevez, fucking drunk driving. They made it use some community service. Great movie, great trilogy. No crazy talk yet. Wow, we're last segment. No crazy talk. Number 5, Emily.
Literally, mine is the same.
Mighty Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, I love the Mighty Ducks, so I'm with you on that. You'll get no crazy talk out of me for that. James, is yours Mighty Ducks as well? Because
man, it's definitely top 10 for sure. But I think this is where the crazy talk comes in. As far as trilogy goes, for number 5, I got the Dark Knight trilogy.
I mean, one of them was good.
Hey, Dark Knight Rises was definitely good too. Give credit to Tom Hardy where credit is due.
Hey, this is your top 5. You know, I'm not gonna call crazy talk because I don't like superhero movies, and that's not fair to you. I just don't like them. Number 5 for me is Star Wars. The episodes 4, 5, and 6, the old ones, the one that come out in the late 70s, early 80s. That is number 5 for trilogies for me. Like A New Hope, Return of the Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Fantastic fucking trilogy, man. That takes number 5 for me, 100%. Number 4, Chris.
Number 4. I'm going to go with This Message Will Self-Destruct.
Oh.
Possible series 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. Could have put them easily in a top 5 spot for action movies. But for me, being a trilogy, they have to be in the top 5. I put them at number 4.
Dude, so let me tell you, there's like 6 or 7 or 8 of them now. But I love the Mission Impossibles, and Tom Cruise was the right person for that role When fucking he's in that train at the end with John Voight, and he goes, "But you're wrong about one thing. People have seen you." I look, Mission Impossible, Ving Rhames, love those movies. I did not think of it as a trilogy, so it did not make it in mine. But Tom Cruise is my favorite actor, and those are some of my favorite movies. Good call on that. Number 4, Emily.
So number 4, I have Die Hard.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good one.
Hey, look, the third Die Hard, man, where they got him in Harlem with the sign that we can't say on the podcast, and he's fucking ringing a bell, man. That shit was fucked up right there.
I'm sorry. If you got dark humor, that shit was fucked up, but it was hilarious.
Man, Samuel L. Jackson saw that. He goes, "What the fuck?" He's like, "What's
Do you
wrong
have
with
a death wish?
Yeah, he said, "I'm a cop." He goes, "Oh, shit." I love Die Hard. You'll get no argument out of me on that. Number 4, James.
Number 4, it's another superhero trilogy, but it is the Deadpool trilogy.
God, such a terrible movie, bro.
No, saying Deadpool is a terrible movie? That's crazy talk. I'm sorry.
No, that shit was awful, bro.
What? What about it was awful?
The whole movie, beginning to end.
Okay, look, maybe the second one was pretty awful, but the first and third one, including Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine.
Look, it's just like the Fast and Furious movies to me. I watched the first one, and then I said, absolutely fucking not. I did not. I'm not joking. Like, I'm not doing this for dramatic effect. Deadpool was dead ass awful to me.
Oh, man.
James, what he's trying to say is your Deadpool being in the top 5 is shot down.
Hey, sorry, it's got God's perfect idiot.
All right. This is your list. So for me, number 4, the Matrix trilogy. Bro, let me tell you. So when I like all 3, I know most people didn't, but I did. So when I first watched this movie, and it's in the Matrix, first of all, Keanu Reeves is one of my favorite actors. Just absolutely love him. And this movie was brilliant. And then he's like, they arrest him, and then he's like, Mr. Anderson, and I'm like, oh, cool, he's got my name. And then they're like, his name is Thomas Andrew Anderson. And I'm like, hold the fuck up. My name is Andrew Thomas Anderson.
Good job.
And I'm like, how this dude in the Matrix have my same exact name? Like, that's creepy. Anyway, the Matrix trilogy was fan-fucking-tastic, and it comes in at number 4 for me. Number 3, Chris.
Number 3 for me. If you ever hear somebody say, "You caught juggling thunder cunt," you might want to reply with, "It's open season on all suckheads." The Blade Trinity, Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson. That's where we were introduced to Jessica Biel. Perfect place to put that at number 3.
Who is Daniel Jones? John Wick's number 2. So yeah, fantastic, man. I love Wesley Snipes and Blade, man. That shit was great. All of those movies were great. You'll get no crazy talk out of me. Emily.
Yes.
Number 3.
So my number 3 is Indiana Jones.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Indiana Jones is fantastic. We'll get more into that later. Number 3 for you, James.
Number 3, this is definitely recent bias, but man, the nostalgia behind it, you can't argue it. I'm going with Sonic the Hedgehog. Look, I'm sorry, if there is a video game movie that you want to perfect, and if there's any directors that are looking to make a video game movie, you look to Sonic the Hedgehog. Social media literally bullied Paramount Pictures into changing the design of Sonic into the cartoon that we all know and love and we've seen in the video games. I mean, everything about this trilogy was on point. We got Keanu Reeves as Shadow. We got Idris Elba as Knuckles. We got the OG voice actor for Tails. The dude that voices Sonic is just awesome. And obviously, we got Jim Carrey involved as well. Everything about this movie trilogy for me is just pure nostalgia and pure perfection, especially for the modern day.
Okay, I've never seen them, so I can't give any pushback on it. But we have our first crazy talk. Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig for James Bond.
I wanted to put James Bond in my top 5, but I couldn't. Daniel Craig had one movie that was really good. The best James Bond, and I know y'all are going to be like, no, but the man, he was born to play James Bond. That's Pierce Brosnan. Man, fucking The World Is Not Enough, man, is the greatest James Bond movie ever, man. GoldenEye was fan-fucking-tastic, too. But The World Is Not Enough is the best James Bond movie there ever was. Pierce Brosnan was 100% born to play that role. But yeah, number 3 for me is also Indiana Jones. The first that's why I said we'll get into that in a minute. Raiders of the Lost Ark was so fucking good. The plane got shot with all those arrows, man, and he put the bag of sand and took the thing, and he's like, yes, and then it put a big the second one was Temple of Doom, which was my favorite one. Kalima Shakti Day, pull his heart out, like Indy. Anyway, great. And The Last Crusade with Sean Connery, man, like, come on. Honorable mention for horror movies, though. I should have put it in there because I could have taken 2 out to put it down. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Demon Knight, Tales of the Crypt. Definitely in my top 5. So apologies for not putting that in there. Love that. IP Man. Not a terrible movie. Not in my top 5. Number 2, Chris.
Number 2 for me, I mentioned it earlier. From the moment Matt Damon wakes up the park bench and realizes he's a lethal weapon, the Bourne trilogy, 1, 2, and 3, obviously they've added more since then. To me, a $1.6 billion industry that they created with that movie series. I put the Bourne trilogy at number 2.
Nice. Number 2 for you, Emily.
Number 2 for me, I've got The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the Rings, number 2. Fantastic series. Just the graphic that's up there. We'll get more into that later as well. Number 2 for you, James.
Number 2, I'm going with the Star Wars prequel trilogy.
Very, very good movie. I'll just go ahead and tell you my number is also the Star Wars trilogy. You and I have the same exact number 2, but since we're going to talk about it anyway, I might as well go ahead and say it, man. What a fucking just perfect set of 3 movies, if there ever was one, man. Like, The Phantom Menace is so perfect. I know you didn't like the Clone Wars, but it was the whole story of how everything happened. The Clone Wars was a masterpiece. And then Revenge of the Sith, maybe the greatest movie ever written, period.
Oh, not to mention the freaking score that was behind it, too.
Oh, yes, yeah. Dude, that battle scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin, best battle scene I've ever seen. Best fight scene I've ever seen.
Yes.
Bar none.
Agreed.
God, what just good fucking movies, man. Good call on that one. You and I had the exact same there. Number 1 for you.
Number 1 for me. Anyone who doesn't like it will sleep with the fishes. With a cast of Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Diane Keaton, James Caan, Robert Duvall, Talia Shire, John Cazale, Andy Garcia, Sofia Coppola, Joe Mantegna.
They did not.
How can you not put The Godfather at number 1? That trilogy was fantastic.
So how can you not put Lord of the Rings in your top 5?
I just never got into Lord of the Rings.
The Godfather was good. Top 5 worthy, absolutely not. I think The Sopranos as a show was better than The Godfather. Sopranos is the best show of all time, but we'll do shows at another time. But I did like The Godfather. I mean, I could see it in the top 5, especially if you like Mafioso.
And part of the reason a lot of people don't put it in the top 5 is
it does insist upon itself.
Oh my God, Terry coming in here with that Family Guy comment.
You see, a lot of the reason people don't associate it with the trilogy style is because the first 2 came out in 1972 and 1974, and then you didn't get another one until 1990. So it kind of ruined the trilogy effect. Had they come out closer together, I think it would have been a more popular pick and got a lot more views than what it did.
Yeah, I like The Godfather.
Reasonable.
Number 1, Emily.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My number 1,
Yes.
the Hannibal trilogy.
Yes, that's another good.
So I'm not gonna call crazy talk on that, but Silence
I'll whoop you.
is so I did see all 3 of them. There was Hannibal, there was Silence of the Lambs, and the third one had some weird devilish name. What was it?
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon, yeah. Not a terrible series. I like Hannibal Lecter, one of my favorite characters ever. Diabolical bastard is what he was. Especially when he escaped and fucked everybody up in the cage. He murdered them at the end. Fucking crazy as shit. Number 1, James.
So there is a reason that I have the prequel Star Wars in the number 2 spot. I honestly don't think we get the prequel Star Wars unless the OG Star Wars trilogy had come out. I mean, A New Hope, they literally just had some money together and were just like, hey, fuck it. Let's see where this goes. And what we got is what we got. And then obviously once 2000 rolled around, it was like, hey, we got to show where Darth Vader came from and, how he became Darth Vader. So number 1, I got the OG Star Wars trilogy.
Harry Potter. I had that at number 4. So you did not have the Lord of the Rings in your top 5.
No. I mean, for me, it was just hard to get into. It just, again, wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea. I'm sorry.
So, oh my God. So I'm with you on the 2 Star Wars. Prequels were better than New Hope in that.
I don't have any.
Number 1 is Lord of the Rings. Like, crazy talk that this doesn't make your top 5. These were the 3 finest movies ever written, and they were all in order 1, 2, and 3. Return of the King is just I am. We made it to the last segment before y'all had me call crazy talk a couple of times. But Lord of the Rings in your top 5, like, you need to channel your inner nerd and watch these movies. Give them a real chance.
I've watched 1 and 2. It feels.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is your top 5, but yeah, no. She will take me out. Don't worry about that, Terry. All right, with that being said, let's go to our final segment. All righty. Final thoughts, Chris.
Final thoughts. I got a quick message real quick before I get on with my final wording.
I love it. You guys are so great.
It's been great fun tonight. Doing this gets you to learn each other's personalities. I had a feeling where James would go on a lot of his stuff. I was pretty close. Just based on what I've seen from him over the past year, getting to know him and all that. So I kind of had an idea where he was going to go. But it gives you an idea of what kind of background we come from, what kind of things interest us in the long term. It's been fun doing this tonight. It's been great. A lot of great movies talked about. I look forward to doing this kind of stuff again. But I wanted to invite everybody. I'm going to steal your thunder a little bit, Andrew. If you have not jumped in to watch Andrew and Brandon on Divine Battleground, I challenge you to do so. That's some really good stuff. I can't wait to finally be a part of it whenever that's going to happen. But do yourself a favor and check that out.
So, absolutely. If you want to know how much my faith means to me, just look at the side of my neck here. Like Divine Battleground, I love that. Great closing message. Emily, final thoughts. You're on me.
This has been great. I love doing this, talking about stuff because it brings up the old memories because this world has changed a ton.
Yeah.
So it's nice to think back to some simpler times.
Yep.
Agreed. James, final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, tonight's show was a lot of fun. I really hope we get to do more stuff like this, especially when it comes to TV shows, because I know there's a lot of TV shows out there that we definitely know a lot about, but obviously we're going to have different top fives. But man, this has definitely been a lot of fun for the last few weeks of doing the top five with what we've been doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with this in the long run. Aside from that, you already know what tomorrow is. It's going to be lit, and there's going to be a lot of fun things we're talking about. And like I said, the last topic of the show for tomorrow is the top 5 baseball movies.
So perfect. So what I'm going to do, I want to get in on the top 5 baseball movies. We'll be driving to the beach at that time. Like when your show's on, we'll still be driving. So I'm going to hop on at that point from the car, if you're okay with that. And I want to do my top 5 baseball movies.
Sure.
All right, perfect. So we will be doing stuff like this really until college football comes back around, to be honest. Well, you know, probably about July when things start heating up with like the preseason stuff and all that. So next week, we're going to do stuff like this. Next week, I agree with you, James. We're going to do our favorite shows next week. Top 5 comedies, top 5, action shows, stuff like that. We'll do TV shows. And then we'll just have one which is the top 5 greatest. Good call out. We're going to do that. Yes, I went to the same neck tattoo artist as Cody Rhodes. I sure did. Hey, look, I love Star Wars. All right, my final thoughts. Villain Media Network. Level Up Nostalgia is my new thing that I'm doing. I just do it randomly whenever I get time. I just put it on and start watching. Sometimes I have like 100 people just watching me play Final Fantasy, and it's really fun. College Sports Villains Thursday, No Mercy Sports Friday, Saturday, we just never know what's going on. Sunday, Football Frame of Mind. Monday, Legends of the Squared Circle. Tuesday, The Golden Room. Wednesday, you got Hawkaholics, and then sprinkled in all of that is Dean's Show, which is really good. But with that being said, I love you all. It's been really fun, and as always, John 3:16.